Fashion. What exactly is fashion? And what are the lessons that it has to teach us? Because I have been observing the entire aspect of trends and how these things are repetitive, how fashion keep coming back, and sometimes the insignificant things that we have back in the days that when someone have it or someone has it, it will be like the person is a weirdo and sometimes they get bullied for it. But then when we see when we fast forward to present day, these things come back as trend. So have you ever asked yourself this question? What exactly is the lesson that fashion has to teach us? What is in this trend that keep coming back to us? What exactly is the lesson for me to learn from my personal life? So this is what I will be talking about today in this video. So if you are curious, if you are interested, or you ever had a thought of or the question of why fashion keep coming back or trends keep coming back, then stay to the end, stick around, and let's find out. Let's decode this trend. Let's decode the entire aspect of it. Let me tell you a story about my experience when I was in high school. There was this shoes. It's called a woven flat. Now this shoe has come back this 2025 and is considered a very nice shoes to wear and is trendy. And so many people are wearing that particular shoe right now. But back in the days, in my high school days, there was this thing about that shoe whenever a child wore it, they are going to be considered like poor and that they don't have money or their parents cannot afford for them to wear a better shoes. I personally wore the shoe because of the functionality. Like for example, uh, when you have our leather shoes, because we have two seasons in my country, Liberia. We have the rainy season and we have the dry season. So during the time of the rainy season, when rain starts to fall a lot, your real shoe as a student, like your leather shoes, you are not allowed to carry it because if you carry the leather shoes, it's going to spoil due to a lot of water around the cities. So to save up my leather shoe, I wore the woven flat with my socks. It was really functional for me. But the notion of the students back then, it was like you wear the shoes, your parents don't have money, and sometimes people get bullied for it. But I personally didn't care about that. But now, in 2025, this shoe has come back. So it really got me thinking like what exactly is the lesson of fashion? And this brings us to our first point for lesson for which fashion has to offer. Number one, evolution. Why do I say evolution? Because as humans, it is important for us to pay attention to the things that are happening around us, pay attention to the little details because we are not meant to be static in life. You can be at a specific position in a specific year, but don't expect yourself to be at that same position in the next year to come. Then that means you are not growing. So for me, the reason for which I think that trend keep coming back and it become much better than the way it used to be first is because of evolution. Fashion is not just teaching us to dress better, to look our best, to dress for our body type, but it is also teaching us to evolve, to grow, to learn, and do better than the way we were yesterday. Just look at the entire fashion industry. The things that were acceptable back then, they are not the things that were acceptable. The things that were not acceptable back then, they are now acceptable. So why is it like that? It's because we are to grow. The things that you think you know today, it might evolve tomorrow. So it's important for us to evolve, for us to grow, for us to learn. So this brings us to our next reason, number two, continuous learning. I know there are some of us that think that if we know something today, then it is the end of the world. Always learn to learn. Always keep learning because what we think we know today can eventually change for the best or the better tomorrow. So continuous learning is something that fashion teaches us. So fashion is not just about wearing clothes because even as it gave us confidence, it also helped us to learn. Because in order for you to be confident, for you to be feel good in your own skin, you have to involve, you have to do some work on yourself because physical appearance matters. So you can just put on a clothes and then expect yourself to be confident. There are a lot of things that come with it, like learning how to look your best, watching videos, growing, evolving, and just being the best and better version of yourself. Like somebody you know today, if they are really, really working on themselves, the way you see them today, when you see them the next time, they will be better off than the way they were because they open room to learn, they open room to grow, they open room to make mistakes. So this is what I think the lesson from fashion is. Fashion, the first one, is about evolution. Fashion is never static. It always evolve. It always change. It always make the insignificant things that we have back then to become significant. So you ever thought of some content creators or some individuals, like some of your friends saying that, oh, I have no idea that this particular shoes that we used to be bullied for back in school now has become the go-to shoes for us to wear. This is the lesson of fashion. Learn to grow, learn to evolve, learn to keep learning because it makes you to become the best, it makes us to become the best and better version of ourselves. So let's move up to lesson number three. Fashion teaches us to take risks in life. So why do I say to take risks? Observe the trends pattern, observe what was acceptable back then and what wasn't acceptable. Fashion has pushed the boundaries, brought about the different shades of foundation, brought about diversity, people with different skin tones, people with different people of different races. They have now come together to celebrate the war of fashion. Fashion wasn't like that. Just observe the history of fashion, like how things have evolved over the years, how things have evolved over the century. Decades ago, the way in which fashion was is not like that. There were not many foundations for different type of skin tones, and there were not many races on the fashion runway. Now things have changed, things have evolved, and everybody just come together to celebrate fashion, to celebrate the different talents, to celebrate diversity and embrace inclusion. So this is what fashion is. When I say take fashion take risk, it's because in life we need to learn to take risks. We need to learn to break barriers. Somebody might say it's not possible to be like this, but with the right mindset, it is possible for you to do what you want to do, for you to do what you set your mind up to do, for you to accomplish whatever it is you set your mind up for. So I think that taking risks and learning the aspect of taking risks from fashion is really, really a good thing because fashion has come a long way. For me, fashion is not just about the clothing, but all of the things that come with it, all of the involvement, the elevation, all of these things have helped fashion or have helped the fashion industry to become a multi-billion-dollar industry because they were not static. They allow themselves to grow with the time. They allow themselves to evolve with the time. And now we are all enjoying the benefit. If they have stayed with the mindset of you cannot wear red with red, you cannot wear red with pink, it is not acceptable in the fashion world. You cannot wear purple and pink, it's not acceptable. You cannot wear purple and red, it's not acceptable. We won't be where we are now. But they broke barriers, they took risk to bring up all of these things that we are enjoying now. And some of these things or some of these outfits that are created, they are pure work of art. And these are things that allow people, these are people that allow themselves to really tap into their creativity and bring out the best. And we know that the best are yet to come because the fashion industry is not done with us yet. We have more things to learn. So this is number 3 of the reason. Number 4 is to educate ourselves. For me, I personally was someone who never liked trend because I didn't understand the aspect of trend. I was always like, trend is something that is not good because it allows us to wear things that everyone is wearing. I think that when you thoroughly look at trend, it's about associating, it's about assimilating, it's about having fun, it's about enjoying the new and putting rest to what you already have, what you already know as normal, and going extraordinary and doing something that is just out of your comfort zone. If we take this lesson and implement it in our own lives, we are going to learn to grow, learn to evolve, learn to take risks, and learn to do things outside of our comfort zone and not doing things repetitively or doing the same thing over and over. Just take a closer look at fashion and see and just do the comparison with these tips that I'm giving, and you will really understand that fashion is not something that we should just look at from the aspect of clothing, but we can look at it beyond because it has a lesson to teach us. Just take for example, if we want to know what's going on, what's the latest trend, how we can match it, how we can wear it, how we can style it, how we can feel good in our own body, we go and start to research, we go and start to learn, we go and start to read. All of these things are good because they are not just about wearing, but it's about educating ourselves. And as we educate ourselves, we become better in a society, we elevate in a society, and we become, more valuable because it's not just about existing, but it is about giving value to the society. So moving to point number 4 of the fashion industry and the lesson it has to offer us. Point number 4 is that fashion make the irrelevant things relevant. This is a lesson fashion has to offer us. You ever had a job and you had a brilliant idea, you took it to your boss, and then your boss didn't really take that idea seriously, and then after some time you took the idea to another person and it became a really great idea that built you a really 6-figure or business that earn you a lot of money. Yes, this is the lesson of fashion. Fashion makes the irrelevant things relevant because things that were not acceptable back then, they are now being acceptable. And this is why I made a mention of the story of the woven shoes that were being that were not acceptable back in my high school days. Like anybody wore that shoe, they will be considered as irrelevant. But now in 2025, that shoe has become so important that I'm not saying everybody wear them, but if you see somebody wearing it and it really style it's going to trigger something within you and you're going to try to wear it. So this is what I'm saying about fashion, make the irrelevant things relevant because they beautify it, they modify it, they make it look good. So number 5 of the lesson fashion has to offer up is progress, not perfection. You can bear witness to most of the trends that have come and some of the fashion outfits that are being created or made. Some of them are not the best, to be honest. Some of them are not the best. Some of them are breathtaking, and this shows that it's not just about perfection, but it's about progress. It's about putting out your talent or putting out their talent, putting out our talent as those of us that are in the industry. And this is something that is really good. Some creators, some designers of this outfit, their first design was not always perfect. Just like my first video wasn't perfect, your first activity, whatever it is that you do, wasn't perfect. So it is about the progress, not perfection. Sometimes the destination is not always the fun part of the journey, but everything that we encounter within a journey add up to make us satisfied when we finally get what we want. So taking this lesson and implementing it in our everyday life can really change a lot of things for us because it is not always about perfection, but it is about progress and how you keep moving forward and how you keep trying to become the best and better version of yourself and how you keep improving daily. This is what counts, not just showing a perfect outfit, not just showing a perfect hairstyle, not just showing yourself as perfect, but all of your flaws, your mistakes, all of the things that you have learned, it make you to be best, it make you to grow, it make you to evolve, it make you to continue learning, it make you to become your best and better version. So it is about progress, but not perfection. So this is the 5th lesson of fashion. So the 6th lesson is there's always room to grow. There's always room to improve. All of the fashion trends, they were not perfect, but they started to evolve, they started to do better, they started to bring more better rules, break the ones that were hindering the growth of the fashion industry. They started to improve themselves based on my observation. So I think there's always room to grow in the fashion world. You might wear a t-shirt today that you didn't start perfectly and you were not happy about it, you went out and didn't feel good about yourself. Then take that as a room to grow because the next time you are styling, you are going to style in a much better way. You are going to, put out your belts, just make it to fit your body type. So the first one is not always the best, but as we learn, as we grow, we do better. So the last point of the fashion or the lesson fashion has to teach us is for us to express ourselves. Mostly when people dress, it's not just about the clothing, it's about the expression, what they have to say, what they have to tell the world, how people see them. Like they express themselves, oh, this is my personal style. Or let's take for example, if someone like to dress modestly, they wear their modest outfit, they go out, people, okay, this person is a modest person. If somebody likes to show their style, their personal style, their personality, they are going to dress like that. Oh, this person is XYZ person. So it's not just about wearing, it's about expressing ourselves and telling the world who we are, telling our story and putting ourselves out there. So these were the 7 lessons of fashion: evolution, continuous learning, educating ourselves, growing, and expressing ourselves, and making the irrelevant things relevant. It's about the progress, not perfection. All of these things are the lessons that fashion trends have to offer us. It's not just about looking at the new trends, but it's about looking beyond what we see. So this is the end of the video. I hope you like it. My name is Maddie Go, and if you like it, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like it, give it a thumbs down, and please hit that subscribe button so we can keep growing. If you like this topic, please comment down below your thoughts, and I will see you in the next video. But in the meantime, you can check out this other video about styling and start some outfit there, and you can also check out this video about the latest fashion trends and what people are wearing now. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.